Most of the people have a common idea that mathematics can be only pursued if you're developing or thinking to make a career into physics or science or number theory or research or analysis, financial problems, etc. This is a common notion which most of the students, even the youngsters, they think that mathematics is only a kind of a discipline which is perfectly aligned if you are pursuing or thinking to pursue a career only into science or numbers or anything, some sort of that. But I will tell you that is not so. Mathematics as a discipline can be inculcated into any individual, thereby helping you to develop certain traits, certain skills, certain virtues which will help you to make a career into anything. Believe me, even if you're doing geography, history, statistics, literature, or anything, the basic discipline of mathematics, the analytical skills, will help you to develop a better career, to help you improve certain virtues, which is very important, and overall get a great personality as a human being. In this video, I'm going to tell you those points, very brief in short, and I'm sure that you're going to love the subject, and whatever the discipline or whatever the subject that you are studying, apart from science or mathematics, you will love to go ahead with mathematics, which is going to enhance your virtues, your traits in every sphere of life. My name is Shaunak and you're watching this video on my channel Physics for Students, and I welcome you to watch this video. What you just saw on your screen, that is helping you to improve your analytical skills. If you have an idea that this is a kind of a skill which is required only to pursue study in physics or science, I'm sorry, you were completely wrong. Well, analytical skill is something which helps in every sphere of life. At least as far as I am concerned, in my years of study in university, colleges, and even today when I'm teaching my students, I find that analytical skill is something which is very, very important. Now, let me give you an example. For example, let us say that you're studying or pursuing some kind of a study into geography, or maybe literature, or maybe, say, for example, anything. You will see that eventually when you proceed deep into the studies, when you're pursuing your master's or you're doing a PhD, even in geography, even in literature or any subject, you will see that analytical skill is something which is very required. If you're even writing English literature, you're reading Shakespeare, you're reading Shelley, or you're reading anything which would require you to improve those abstract ideas, the plays and the dramas, what you need is an analytical skill. For example, I will tell you a kind of a personal experience when I am translating certain poems or certain texts which is written in Persian and Arabic language, and I'm a translator, so I translate those things into English. I find that analytical skill is something which is very much required. Now, you might differ with me, that is absolutely, you're welcome, and you can write those things which you differ in the comment box. But you will see that when you are, for example, when you're expanding an abstract idea, right, in literature, for example, Macbeth or Othello or anything like that, you are learning Sanskrit, you are learning geography, you're learning any other subject other than science, you will see that in order to develop that kind of a writing skill, in order to expand those abstract ideas and make it into a précis or an essay or a summary, analytical skill is something which is required. Mathematics gives you that kind of a power. Mathematics empowers you with the analytical skills, which is going to help you in every sphere of life. Now let us talk of something other than studies. For example, you're a family man and you need to manage finance. You're a working professional where there's a certain amount of money and you need to analyze and manage that money in the entire family. You require analytical skills. For example, you're driving a car and you have to glide that way, or for example, you're a pilot, you need analytical skills. So there are numerous examples. I cannot complete by giving you examples. But the basic fact lies in that analytical skills will be required for each and every person. Even, for example, if somebody is listening who is a housewife and she or he manages the entire household affairs, how much of food will be taken, how much the groceries will be taken, how will you manage the entire show throughout the month. What you read or what you need is analytical skills. So, as I told you, this video is not about physics. This video is not about number theory or algebra or geometry. But this is something which is very important. You require analytical skills in every analytical skills, not only for physics. Otherwise, even if you're a house affairs, you're driving a car, you're reading literature, you're expanding or elucidating thesis paper in geography or otherwise, analytical skills will help you to move things apart and be successful in every sphere of life. Developing logic and reasoning. Well, to be very honest with you, this is some kind of a common thing which happens. I have seen many people in general who loses a kind of a logical thinking when they're managing their household, when they're going out, when they're talking with friends. They sometimes sounds illogical. They sometimes sound unreasonable. Now, you might argue with me telling that is it that those people who are unreasonable or those who do not know mathematics, they cannot run a household, they cannot be logical? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if you learn mathematics up to a certain level, for example, up till graduation, or you do problems which are really, really very abstract, really those are complex, then the thinking process or the logical thinking or reasoning process improves. And it improves in order to not only enrich your brain, but it makes you a reasonable person who can do reasonable things in terms of every sphere of your life. Be it you're a father or you're a mother, be it that you're handling your child, might be you're going to a school, you're a school teacher in preschool, and obviously you are doing or teaching things which are not mathematical, not physics, not numbers, but anything else. Logic and reasoning is something which works. Now, for example, if I talk of puzzles, even crossword puzzles, for example, you have got a vocabulary and you're trying to solve out crossword puzzles or otherwise, you need a logic. Now, come on, you cannot be illogical into solving things. Even I see my mother, I see my wife handling so much of problems in the household. Given a kind of a budget, they have to run their family. Logic and reasoning serves well. It is not that my wife is a math kind of a lady. She has done a lot of math. It is not that. But what I'm trying to tell is that if you do a little bit of math and if you're into logic and reasoning, these things help. And reasoning is something which is required in every part of life. So you get an edge, you get a kind of a better edge in terms of other who really lacks in types of this kind of a logic. Logic and reasoning actually works in the brain, and you really need to stretch yourself, you really need to do something, because it won't come in a day. In my previous videos also, I have spoken that it is just like bodybuilding. It won't happen in a day. You need time, you need exercise, and you need to do constantly so that you develop a kind of a logical brain. So reasoning definitely required for every individual, every human being. God has given us the power of brain. So reasoning and logic both go vis-a-vis. And with the mathematical skills, it helps you to develop logic and reasoning, thereby being a successful housewife, father, a teacher, or anybody who is a team leader, entrepreneur, manager. You need logic and reasoning, and mathematics helps you to develop that kind of a stuff. Okay, so when you see certain things which are already given in front of you, right? I mean to say, it is given right in front of you, and what you need to do is that you need to develop to make proper assumptions by keen observation. Now, when I say keen, what I'm trying to tell you is that In our daily life also, you will see that there are certain things which are given to us, which is right in front of us, but we really don't see. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have eyes, that you really don't see, but you don't see with your inner eye. You don't see with the sense that you really need. Examples can be given. For example, you manage a company, you're an entrepreneur, and there are people under you who reports to you, and you are given a problem. It can be retrenchment, it can be managerial problems or anything, and really the problem or the solution lies in front of you, but you are not being able to see what is right in front of you. Maybe the solution is lying right in front of you, but really you don't see. So what happens when you do this kind of a proof-based axiomatic theorems or proofs of geometries, etc., then you really have to see those things, and based on that you have to make a keen observation. Okay, so given this type of equation, given this kind of a structure of the equation, with a polynomial or something, that this could be the probable answer, or this could be the way in which I can attack the problem. Now, to be very honest with you, I really don't remember right now, but I have been solving numerous mathematical problems. So again, say for example, given a quadratic equation, given a polynomial, given a second order differential, so suddenly when you see that type of an equation, it strikes in your mind. I call it a mathematical maturity, that you really have that kind of a maturity, that you see that problem, you understand those square roots and minus signs, and something you get a kind of an intuition, and you really can attack the problem, because you know that through keen observation the solution lies right there. So even if you are a manager, you problem that lies is that we are not observing them keenly. So I remember when those words of Sherlock Holmes, when Holmes used to say that, Watson, how many steps do you walk up to the Baker Street to my home? So he said that I never counted it. So Holmes tells that no, you might have seen those, but you have not observed. But I have observed, and it is 7, 10, or so many amount of number of steps. So the problem is that we see everything, but we do not observe. And doing mathematics, doing theorems, doing this kind of equations and problems, our brain, or we train our brain, we train our eyes to see those things very keenly. I would say not to see, but rather to observe. This observation power helps us to develop a kind of a different kind of a skill, which helps us to overcome and overcome the problems in our daily life. Yes, it develops the power of discrimination. Now, this is a kind of a ethical sense which I would like to tell you. I remember that Grigory Perelman's, I would say, a senior person, I forgot his name, the Russian mathematician, he told that mathematicians are more ethical than anybody else. Now, I don't mean to say or hurt you that you are unethical, but what I'm trying to tell you is that the discrimination power, that which is right, which is wrong, is more if you do mathematics. The reason is that mathematics always tells 1 plus 1 always be equal to 2. It is not anything else. So the power of discrimination, maybe it will help you in future to make a decision as a father, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a manager. This entrepreneurship capacity, in order to tell that this is right, this is wrong, is being developed through the power of discrimination. The power of discrimination comes when you do certain mathematical problems and you really know what could be. We all know that mathematical solutions can. But what I'm trying to tell you is that mathematical solutions are something which will eventually help you to do or find out only one answer. The power of discrimination helps you to solve numerous ethical problems, leadership problems, problems which we really don't know, which might come up at any time. And we have to make a decision whether on the left or on the right, whether this or that, whether it is money or satisfaction. So the power of discrimination is something which is developed once you do hard mathematical abstract algebra equations, and then you know that yes, this is the solution, and that develops a kind of a discrimination power, ethically and morally or otherwise, helping you in the sphere of your life. No doubt that is true. It develops patience and discipline. Now, we all know that as we grow up the ladder, mathematics becomes really, really hard. It really becomes difficult. It takes a lot and lot and lot of time to sit down to solve the problems. So, what is happening is that if you are constantly banging your head on one particular equation, then you are developing patience and you are developing discipline. Now, patience we understand because it takes a long time, developing and understanding the mathematical problems. It takes a lot of time. You cannot say, no, 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 come on, let us give up. This is not done. I cannot solve it. You then are not a math guy, right? So definitely patience is something which is required, we understand, but also we develop a kind of a discipline. And the discipline is that you really sit down hours and hours in order to solve a problem. You get out of distraction. Distraction doesn't, I would say, distract you. You really move out from everything and you concentrate hard, very hard on any specific problem. So patience is something which I think that every human being needs. Patience is something which is required. The moment you get impatient, your parents or your family members start shouting. The entire family goes hayward. Everything is in chaos, and you are not a possibly a responsible father or mother or an entrepreneur or even a teacher. Well, you might agree to me or not, that is up to you. But I have seen that mathematicians earn a better respect in the family. In the family, in the sense that yes, when you talk, when you go to a party, you mix with people. They say, okay, so and so, what do you really do? Okay, you're into mathematics. Okay, you are a physicist. You are a mathematician, or you're doing a research in mathematics. Okay, fine. I mean to say, you really earn respect being a mathematician or a physicist job. So what you do is that you develop a kind of a skill, you develop a kind of a respect, and the entire, I would say, society really feels you okay. So this guy or this woman is something little bit different. So what do you mean by different? Different means that okay. So what we cannot do, this person is doing. So yes, I would like to say on a lighter note that doing mathematics, a person being from the mathematics background, doing research, etc., earns a kind of a respect to the society. Lastly, I would like to say yes, you deal better with failures. Now, not it is the last point, but it is not the least. I would like to say you that when you're doing mathematics, you understand that every day you're meeting failures. I mean to say, every single day you're writing, and you are unable to solve the problems. You're going into, I would say, you're going to books you're unable to find. You're consulting the professors; they're unable to tell, or you're unable to understand. You're surfing net. You're hunting over your notes, etc. But you are unable to do that, and then one day you really feel that yes, you have solved the problem. So what it does, that it is every single day, I mean to say, it's really hard. You wake up with the same problem, doing again and again, then you go back to sleep with the same problem, hunting, keeping yourself busy in your mind, and then on the second day, maybe on the third or the fourth day, you're being able to solve the problem. So the joy of solving eventually instills the confidence within you that yes, you can deal with failures much better. And I can tell you that as a human being, there will be failure in every sphere of life. You can be an artist, you can be into fine arts, you are a father, you are a teacher, you are an entrepreneur, you're a leader, or you can be a driver. Failures is evident. Failure is going to come. So when failures come, how do you react as a human being? Either you freak out, you shout, you disturb people, right? So that is not the way in which you do failure. So in order to train yourself to get accustomed with failure, and in order to deal with failures, mathematics right from the childhood trains you up, or rather I would say the discipline of mathematics is such that you constantly encounter failure every moment of your life. Now, if you are a math specialist, then obviously you're facing failure much more, because you're not doing anything lighter moment, right? You're not into any other subject like geography or maybe literature, etc., but you're only doing math, math, and math. So when you're only doing math, you're encountering failure at every moment of your life. And this failure helps you to develop a confidence, builds a strong character, and instill the confidence that whatever be the difficult problem, at one point of time, success is definitely going to come. As we say in a Latin word, I don't remember, that light shines at the end of the tunnel. So you deal with failure much better in your personal life, at every sphere of our life. As we grow from youngsters into matured human being, and then we get old, we always encounter failure. Encountering failure and reacting is not the solution, but in order to take that failure and bear with that, live with that, and come up with a possible solution, that would be the possible virtue of a human being. And I think that mathematics trains you up in order to have that kind of a skill. That's all. I don't want to expand further into this video. This video, again, as I told you right at the beginning, is not meant for those who wants to pursue a career in mathematics. This video is to just let you know and explain that mathematics is not essentially for those who wants to pursue a career in science. Mathematics is for any single individual in order to make their life, their failures, their success, their problems, deal it in a better fashion, be cool-minded, and find out a possible solution. Thank you for watching this video, and I'm signing off as of now, promising you to come back with yet another important and fascinating video. Till then, goodbye and stay happy.
Now, you can be a part of our team. You can send your scientific articles, essays, research papers, lesson plans on a particular subject of science. For further details, please write to us at editor@physicsforstudents.com. Stay safe and happy.